Well, the National Coronavirus Command Council's meeting today to assess developments related to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. The meeting is expected to discuss in-depth scientific updates around the newly detected coronavirus variant in South Africa, where the World Health Organization last night declared the strain named the Omicron variant a variant of concern after an emergency meeting. Well, let's bring in our reporter, Zoleka Qodashe. A very good afternoon to Zoleka. Thank you for joining us here. I mean, the emergency meeting happening today with the President and the NCCC. What is likely to come from the meeting today?
Well, the National Coronavirus Command Council is meeting today. The meeting was originally scheduled for tomorrow, but there was a statement that was released yesterday saying that it has been brought forward. Now, what we expect from this meeting are tighter restrictions. We know that this is due to a surge in infections. And as you correctly mentioned, that the World Health Organization had a meeting yesterday where they named the new variant that was discovered in, I think, Hong Kong, Botswana, and South Africa, the Omicron variant. And so the rapid spread of the virus or the variant has been detected in South Africa. And so the National Coronavirus Command Council will be looking at ways to stop the spread. And so we are likely to see changes in the level of lockdown. We know that last year, around September, we were in level 1 of the lockdown until the festive season, where we saw an increase to adjusted alert level 3. And so we know that there are some restrictions that have been relaxed. We know that prior to election season, President Cyril Ramaphosa did announce that a relax in some lockdown regulations. And so we are expecting an adjustment to come out of that meeting.
Zoleka, I think before we start, rolling the crystal ball on what's to come and should we expect a lockdown soon, I just want to look at the issue of vaccine drives at large. Since it's been named a variant of concern, I mean, what has the vaccination drives been looking like in South Africa regarding the cases that are emerging? We're seeing a lot of youth, particularly being affected this time round. What's your analysis and observation at this point?
Well, the president had announced earlier this year, with the beginning of the rollout of the vaccination program, that they had a target to that they had wanted to meet. And so we see with the age group 18 to 34 that they are particularly not vaccinating. And that is a cause for concern. There have been numerous vaccination drives, but we do also know that there has been vaccine hesitancy and disinformation regarding vaccines and the effects thereof.
Zoleka, I want to also look at any incidences emerging around the country at this point, what is coming through in terms of panic buying incidences. I mean, we know people are anticipating the worst ahead of an expected lockdown. Has anything been reported across the country as we're speaking?
Well, not that we know of currently. We do know that at the beginning of the lockdown and prior to the announcement of the initial hard lockdown, I think last year in March 2019 or 2020, I beg your pardon, there was a lot of panic buying with a lot of South Africans going and hoarding items. This time around, we don't see that, although we do expect that there will be panic buying in terms of alcohol. We know that the liquor industry has been severely affected with the various levels of the lockdown, where they have not been able to sell. We know that last year during this time, there were certain restrictions on the selling and buying of alcohol. We expect that to be one of the items that are on the agenda. We know, I think in December last year, during a period of a couple of days, there was a restriction on the selling and buying of alcohol, particularly from some institutions. And so we haven't seen panic buying at this stage, but we do know that there is hesitancy over the maybe an adjusted alert level that will take effect. But also we know that there is a huge amount of dissatisfaction with the level of lockdowns and the constant adjustments, with South Africans saying that we have played our part, but with the level of alleged corruption with where institutions and public figures were supposed to meet the public halfway. They have not done so. And so people, I think, do not also want to have their livelihoods interrupted yet again, and then for another level of the lockdown.
Zoleka Qodashe, let's leave the conversation there. Thank you very much for joining us. Again, a reporter chatting about the meeting that's currently transpiring between the National Coronavirus Command Council and President Cyril Ramaphosa to assess developments related to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country at large. Of course, it is a developing story. We continue to bring you more news as it unfolds.